Guys, we are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So it looks like Cardi B and Icespxcë are competing for who can do the best PR relationship for female rap, okay? Now, as we know, Stefan and Cardi B were spotted at the Knicks game. I believe it was last Monday. And now 2 days ago, Icespxcë and her new boo, not Riot, but Sauce Gardner were spotted at the Knicks game. And a lot of fans are calling out Icespxcë, saying that she is trying to compete with Cardi B. Fans are saying that Sauce Gardner and Icespxcë are the Temu version of Cardi B and Stefan Diggs. So let me know how y'all feel about it. I honestly feel like Icespxcë and Sauce Gardner might be a little bit more organic. One, you don't see Sauce Gardner out with multiple women, especially since he's been with Icespxcë. Let's be very clear. Number two, Icespxcë and Sauce have been way more private about their relationship, even though they have popped out, but they've been way more private about their relationship. Cardi B has spoken about her relationship with Stefan on Spaces and on Instagram Live, bragging that, you know, she got a new N-word, loving on her, effing on her. So me personally, I feel like Icespxcë and Sauce Gardner, their relationship seems a little bit more organic and authentic, because I feel like even though Stefan Diggs is popping out with Cardi B, the relationship is not going to last because he's already seeing multiple women. You don't see Sauce Gardner out here humiliating or, you know, basically embarrassing Icespxcë. You know, Cardi B can pretend like she's not embarrassed or not humiliated, or that their relationship is not as serious, or she's just seeing him and is not serious and they're not really in a relationship. But if you popping out and you bragging on that man publicly, Icespxcë hasn't said a word, but you've been bragging about that man on Spaces and Instagram Live. The receipts are out there. You cannot tell me that you not sprung off of this man. Stop. Now, moving on from that, Doja Cat reclaims her crown and takes it from D0JA, okay? So, as we know, D0JA, she was, at one moment in time, dominating Paolify. But unfortunately, she's no longer dominating anymore. As of May 16th, Nicki Minaj and Doja Cat are the most streamed female rappers. Now, Nicki Minaj was the most streamed female rapper on Friday, May 16th, on Paolify with 12 million streams. Doja Cat at number 2 at 11 million. And D0JA, even with her recent hit single, Anxiety, she's only doing 8 million. I wouldn't say only, okay, because no shade, Cardi B and Megan are doing 5 and 4 million. And Megan just recently dropped. She should be doing more. But it seems as though D0JA is not gaining any new fans. I think people have stopped streaming D0JA, and that's why her streams have went down, is because of that umbrella situation, okay? Where she was caught yelling at the assistants to get her more umbrellas for that mid-ass outfit she wore at the Met. So now people are going back to being Team Doja Cat. That's what it's given, okay? Now, I feel like Doja Cat, she can keep this momentum going by dropping a fire single, okay? I think people like Anxiety. Anxiety by D0JA is not a bad record, but let's just be honest. It's a TikTok record. I don't think it's going to have any type of longevity for D0JA's catalog. Now, moving on from that, Messy Lee tries to expose Megan Thee Stallion. Take a listen.
Say exactly what Tory said to me. Hold on. I said, how are you? How you been? He said, incredible, in very high spirits and preparing to physically come home this year. I said, when? I need to come in there and get an interview, LOL. He said, I can't say exact days, but I know I'll be home this year. I said, how long you been gone? I'm so confused by your case. He said, actually, I have a crazy plan when I get back that I think you should know and be a part of because I'm only going to do one interview. And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be a part of that plan. He said, it's honestly a bunch of suppressed evidence that was kept away from me during trial. I said, Wack told me that, but didn't say what. He said, like, through trial, they keep saying it was inconclusive on the gun DNA, but I always knew I never touched the gun, so I asked my lawyer to retest it, and sure enough, I was 102% excluded completely from everything, just like I said. I said, well, why didn't you just say who did it? Fuck doing time for something you ain't do. He said, I took the rap for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail, and I never wanted Megan to get hurt or anything. So in me stopping her from getting shot, I got the raw deal. Crazy how life works. And to think they made me the poster boy for the unprotection of black women, when in all honesty, I protected 2 black women, one from getting shot and one from going to jail. Never said nothing in 8 to 10 years for them to live. It's a crazy, crazy place we live in. I said, but why you ain't just say that? Nigga, when I got shot, I told. And he said, I lost my mother at 11 years old. I couldn't sleep with myself. I was the reason for taking a mother away from her kid. I just couldn't do it.
So wait a minute. This man is telling Messy Lee that he is planning on coming home this year. I don't think you gonna make it if you got stabbed 14 times. No shade. I don't think you gonna make it even if you come home. They gonna get you. Okay, that's one. And number 2, you should have just threw Kelsey under the bus. Okay, Megan and Kelsey do not care about you. You should have threw them bitches under the bus and took the stand. Okay, especially if your DNA is not on the gun. Like, you did how many years already? Like 3-4 years already when he went to jail in 2022. So it's been like 3 years. So at the end of the day, you already served time. So you can't get those years back. I think you definitely should have threw them under the bus. And even if you come home, I don't think you're going to survive. Okay, because if they stabbed you 14 times in jail, what do you think Devil Nation going to do to you when you get out? What do you think gonna happen? Do you think they gonna let you survive? I don't think so. Tory, you might want to come up with a different plan. But with that being said, though, that he didn't even put the new evidence in his appeal. So you gotta do that first, Tory. Okay? Because I feel like this petition, it ain't gonna get you far. Okay? You actually gotta submit the new evidence to the appeal process and throw Kelsey under the bus. Now, EJ, who used to be friends with Megan Thee Stallion, had her dressing like a sumo wrestler at one moment in time. They fell out around the time of the shooting. He posted this Queen Bee meme when Messy Lee posted that he spoke with Tory. Okay, so EJ and a lot of people in the industry feel like Tory is innocent, which is not a good thing. But also I feel as though just because they think he's innocent, the court of law has to think so. So we still need the evidence to be applied in court. And I need Tory to throw Kelsey under the bus. Scratch Off's Nobody debuts with 355,000 streams its first day on Paolify. And allegedly, she is trying to get Champagne Thickums on a remix. How would you guys like that? Now, a lot of people feel like Champagne Thickums has influenced Scratch Off's recent sound. Since she put out that last album, what was it called? Sugar Honey Piss Tea? Since she put out that album, she definitely had a Champagne Thickums-esque influence. And fans have noticed. And so allegedly they are working on a collaboration. They already did one last year. I think it was called Housekeeping, that flopped. But Scratch Off wants to do another record and she's trying to get him on the Nobody remix. So let me know if you guys will be streaming that. Now, moving on to Halle Bailey and Queen Bee. Unfortunately, Queen Bee is not happy with Halle, per usual. That's why Halle unfollowed Parkwood Entertainment in Colombia, because she know Queen Bee not really messing with her like that. They put on a facade for the public. but the truth eventually will come out. Now, Queen B is not happy with Halle, even though she's on tour. She's been paying attention to what's happening on social media, and she knows about, obviously, Halle getting a restraining order on Doodle Garbage, her baby daddy, and ex. Now, with that being said, Halle was supposed to release a single. A lot of people don't know this. She was supposed to release a single with Gorilla Glue.
They talking shit cause they ain't got shit to say to them. A walking lick, they trying to catch a taste. That nigga thirsty, so I put it on his face.
See, Halle was supposed to release that bop. That song sounds fire, okay? She was bringing a heat. But due to the restraining order and her court legal situation with Doodle Garbage, they are heading to court in June for custody of Halo. Now things are put on hold, okay, when it comes to the music. And Parkwood and Columbia, she is still signed to them, are seeing that a lot of people in the public, and I've seen it too, they are on Doodle Garbage's side. You know, a lot of people on social media are not siding with Halle taking full custody of Halo, even though she was abused by Doodle Garbage. This has caused a lot of negative attention for Halle. And now her single that she was supposed to release, allegedly, in May, is getting pushed back due to the negative press. And unfortunately, Doodle Garbage has reached 1 million, I think, followers on Twitch recently. So a lot of people do not care that he put hands on Halle Bailey, or they don't believe that he put hands on Halle Bailey. Either way, this is an L for Halle Bailey. And this is why she should have never got tied up with Doodle Garbage. Okay, I knew he was going to be the end of her career. As soon as he ruined the Little Mermaid rollout, I knew he was going to be the end for Halle's career. I just don't think people look at Halle the same. You know, she had this innocence to her, and now people don't feel like she's as innocent as she portrays. And on top of that, now people feel as though that she is sneaky, or she is manipulative, or she's trying to take Halo away from his father. That's what people are saying on social media. So I feel as though she should have never got tied up with Doodle Garbage, because now it has put a hold on her music career. You know, she gets through the acting thing, but even then, will she ever get a big role like The Little Mermaid ever again? With all this controversy? We don't know. So this is why you got to be careful when you tie yourself up with somebody. And Queen B and Columbia, they're not happy with this negative press. Now, moving on to Riri. It has been reported that Rihanna's Friend of Mine has failed to chart on the global Spotify chart for 2 consecutive days, despite being added to big internet playlists. Their song has also departed the Spotify USA. This song has also remained the 2nd and 16th on 2 of the biggest Spotify playlists. New music and today's top hits. So a lot of people are calling this record a flop, okay? Even though it's a soundtrack single for the Smurf. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, Rihanna don't care. Well, Rihanna don't care. Please stop making music. Since you don't give a fuck, stop making music and being lazy, because that's what it gives. And one thing I do not like is when an artist just does stuff because a bag is attached to it, because she didn't really need to take the Smurf deal, even if she got 3 children. She didn't need to take the Smurf deal, especially if you're going to half-ass it. Okay, because I guarantee you, them children are not listening to this trash you put out. They're not listening to that song. No shade. Okay. At the end of the day, Rihanna should just retire. I don't understand why she's so scared to tell the fans. She's just not into it musically. I mean, what's the point? Fenty hair has already flopped. No shade. So, you know, Savage Fenty, that's going to continue to prevail. And, you know, the makeup line. But Fenty hair care has already been flopping. That's why she's selling it at Marshall's. is not sold out anywhere. Let's just be very clear. So I don't understand why she's so scared to tell y'all that she just don't want to do music. I think that I would respect her more if she was honest. I don't respect you putting out trash AI music. That's what I can't respect. I would respect you more if you say, listen, I really don't want to put out music anymore. And I would respect it. I mean, Anti is a classic. Unapologetic is a classic to me. Even Good Girl Gone Bad era is a classic to me. And to be quite honest, I feel like Rihanna doesn't need to make any more music. She already showcased and, basically created a legacy for her music. Now, moving on from that, Megyn Kelly, I think she's like a journalist on Fox News, said that she went to the Met years and years ago. She only went twice. And she caught one of the Kardashians humping on Diddy. She didn't say which Kardashian it was, but one of the Kardashians was getting freaky with Diddy in the bathroom at the Met Gala after party. Now, Megyn Kelly stated that all of the Kardashians were in the bathroom. They were smoking and dry humping, and there was one person in there canoodling with Diddy. And she attended in 2016, 2017. So almost a decade ago. No shade. She's not relevant enough to attend now. And with that being said, a lot of people want to know which Kardashian it was. Well, it wasn't really a Kardashian per se. It was Kris Jenner. Chrissy Poo has hooked up with Diddy in the past several times. Okay. The Kardashians have a very close-knit relationship with Diddy, even though they pretend like they don't, like most celebrities. But that's who was canoodling with Diddy. Okay. With that being said, yes, he was with Cassie, but as we can clearly see, he does not give an F. Okay. He was having Cassie do whatever he want. And when he wanted to see other women, Cassie had no choice but to agree, okay? So I'm sure the Kardashians saw Cassie get her ass beat, or Cassie do some freaky deaky stuff. I'm sure they saw stuff, but they got to keep it cute. Just like Kylie can't snitch on Megyn and tell the people when Megyn was at her house, she was acting a goddamn fool, okay? Screaming, yelling, going crazy, and that's why she got kicked out of Kylie's house. See, the Kardashians, they can't really snitch or anything like that because that would just be bad for business. But let me know how you feel about it. I got some very hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description, and have a great day.